part, there's two parts to 4.2. The first part you've already been using. I taught it to you earlier because we used it in our math workshops. So this front page is going to be a little bit different, but the material is not necessarily new. Then we have one other section on the back, and then we're done. So it's going to go super quick. This is the theorem that you've already been using. It's called the triangle angle sum theorem. Triangle angle sum theorem. Say it 4 times fast. Okay, what this means is that all of these angles in this triangle together, when you add them, equal 180. You already knew that, didn't you? Yes. Okay, so for number 1, you have a triangle. It's a banner. Like those old banners that hang from like stuff? Okay, pennants. Okay, so if you want to find angle 1, well, the whole triangle is 180. Subtract what you know, and you'll have the measure of angle 1. Yeah. 27. Good. Okay, so that was number 1. Number 2, you have to find angle 1 and angle 2. But what do I know about angle 1 and angle 2? They have the rainbow. Remember, I've been calling those a rainbow? If they both have a rainbow, that means they are the same. Okay, we'll start with 180. Subtract the one you do know. So now you have 34 degrees to split between two angles. Well, it has to be split evenly, so divide it by 2, and you get that each one is 17. Now, the tricky part about this is when it gets to be a little bit more difficult. You have to learn and remember the relationships that you've learned so far. So in number 3, you have to find the measure of angle 1, the measure of angle 2, and the measure of angle 3. Well, I would personally, what angle looks like the easiest one to find? Angle 3 is where I would probably start off, because I know 2 of the other angles, right? So 180 for angle 3, 180. You don't have to write this. I'm just writing it so people know where I got it. 180 minus 20 minus 78 tells me that angle 3 is 82. All right. Just wanted to get that over with. But what do I know about the angle that's 78 degrees and angle 2? No? They're vertical. They're vertical. What does it mean if they're vertical? They're congruent, which means they are the same. So angle 2 is 78 degrees. Well, now I know angle 2, and I know this angle 61, so you can find angle 1. 180 minus 61 minus 78 tells me that angle 1 is 41 degrees. So it's really a puzzle. Like, you just have to use what you know to try to solve for all of these angles. Okay, let's look at 4 and 5. So in number 4, you have to find measure of angle 1, measure of angle 2, and measure of angle 3. Well, which one's easy? Which one you want to start with? Some want to start with 3, some want to start with 1 and 2. Either way, you don't need the other one to solve, right? You could do one triangle at a time. So angle 3, they have to equal 180. So I would just go ahead and subtract 23 and 24. So for this one, I got 133 for angle 3. And then for 1 and 2, well, the whole thing equals 180. So subtract 105 and you're left with 75. Well, you have to split 75 between two angles equally. 75, it's going to be a decimal, and that's okay. I got 37 and a half. Is that what y'all got? Try 5. Ashanti, what was your first step in number 5?
Find equal to.
That's what I would have done too. Yeah, what'd you get for angle 2?
59.
Did you do 180 minus 31 minus 90?
Yes.
Okay, good. Then what was next? What'd you do, Ashanti, after that?
I subtracted 22 from 180.
Okay, I probably, well, you don't know 1 and 3 are the same. Melody, what do I know about angle 1?
Wait, can
We don't know 1 and 3. You don't know that 1 and 3 are the same. But what's congruent to angle 1, Zach? 2. And I know 2, because we just found it, is 59. So now angle 1 is also 59. So now I can find 3. And what was that? What did y'all get for 3? 99. Good. All right, let's try 6, 7, and 8. You're using the figure to the right. What's your plan of attack? What would you do first? Find a 1. That's what I'd do. Blake, what'd you get for angle 1? 55. Good. Well, angle 1 is vertical to angle 2 because they make a bow tie. I don't know if that helps, but if they make a bow tie, then they're vertical. So angle 1's 55. Well, if that's 55, so is angle 2. So what'd y'all get for angle 3? Good. Okay. Here's the next part of this lesson. It's called the exterior angle theorem. And basically, what it means is to find this exterior angle outside of your triangle, you have to add 2 interior angles. Well, there's only 3, and you have to add 2 of them. Well, which 2 do I know to add? You have to add the 2 angles that aren't touching the exterior. So if you add angle B and angle A, it'll equal angle 1. So, for example, in number 9, well, you have these 2 interior angles that aren't touching the exterior. So if you add them, you'll find the measure of angle 1. So you have to add 27 plus 52, which is 79. So you just found that outside angle. That's it. I mean, it gets a little bit more complicated, but that's the basics. So for 10, you do the same thing. Add the 2 that are not touching that angle. So 43 plus 22. So 65 is angle 3. Well, what about 11? Yeah, so you know they have to add to be 92. And you know 171. So subtract and you get that angle 2 is equal to 21. Just write backwards.
And there's 8.
Well, 12's first,
That's easy. 33.
because you start with 123, subtract 90, so you get the measure of angle 4 is equal to 33. 13 and 14 aren't really as bad as you think. It's just solving an equation. Well, to get to 148, you have to add the two angles that aren't touching it. So 2x minus 15 plus x minus 5 equals 148. Well, that's just an equation, so just solve. But remember, you have to combine like terms. So 2x plus 1x, which is 3x, negative 15 minus 5, negative 20, equals 148. So then add 20, which is 168, and divide by 3, which is 56. That wasn't that bad. Try 14.
So you just solved the x not multiplied by
Yeah. Oh, no, you're right. You're right. You have to find the measure of angle ABC. I didn't do that in first period.
112.
Well, what is angle ABC?
A is 180.
No, what's the measure of angle ABC? Where is angle ABC? X minus 5. Yeah, or angle B. It's this one.
61.
So 56 minus 5. So the measure of angle ABC is 51. Good eye. Okay. 14's up next. You try it, then check your answer. Ooh. Do you get x equals 21? Oh, never mind. Okay, so that's this angle. So you have 2 times 21 minus 11. Did y'all get 31? Do you know what I thought it said at first? I thought I was supposed to find this angle. Would that be easy?
Yes.
Yes. Why? Because it's supplementary. So if I knew this was 100, then this angle has to be what? 80. All right. So we're going to practice from here on out. So there's a practice before the practice. So what I want you to do is I want you to do 1 through 10. And then we're going to go over it. Because I want to make sure that you get these 10 before we move on. So do 1 through 10, and then we will go over this before we move on.